Hey, welcome back to Driven Channel, and I'm here with a special guest, Latino as well, Colombiano, right?
Let's
Colombiano,
go. Yes.
Colombiano and Mexican. I've been going live with a lot of Latinos lately
Let's go.
on
Let's
this
go.
podcast. So I'm really, it pumps me up when I see other Latinos that are also winning, making
100%.
millions. I know you're a multi-millionaire from zero. You came from
From-
Colombia, immigrant, right?
Yes. Yes.
When you were 17.
Yes.
So, and now you build your brand. Now you're Anderson Develops.
Yep.
So I know you have 5 companies. Can you explain exactly like who is Anderson Develops? First, start before you start talking about your companies and the millions that you're making. Who is Anderson Develops? Like, when did you come from Colombia? Do you still remember Colombia? Do you go back?
100%.
How is it coming from Colombia? Maybe you're the, I assume you're the like the success story of your family.
Yes.
But
yes.
talk about who is Anderson Develops. How
Sure.
old are you? What's going on with you, multi-millionaire here?
So first of all, let me thank you for the space, the time, Albert. You're someone that I admire, someone that as a Hispanic yourself and all the success that you have had is to me like very inspiring, as well as to many Hispanics. You ask Anderson Develops, who is Anderson? My real name is Anderson Lizarazo. That's my full name. Anderson Develops is my brand.
Yeah.
And I moved to the States when I was 17. Like many Hispanics, they moved to the States. You know, we come with dreams. We come with a lot of like desires that we want to accomplish and a lot of like things in our brains to like actually conquer and accomplish and all this stuff. But the difference between me and many of the people who come the same way is that I got to work for it. Like there is work that we need to do that goes beyond the actual hard work that we do. There is work that we have to do mentally speaking that goes beyond the actual work that we do with our hands, you know, with like waking up early and all of that stuff. Like we have to be ready and prepared for like success, you know, and it comes here. So yeah, moved to the States, was 17, and started from the bottom, man. And started like, you know, picking up apples at the field. That was my first job, was actually at the field, like doing a lot of like field work and, you know, working with apples, piscando manzana.
Yeah.
And then I started like working hard, man. You know, started saving money, and I knew that at one point I was gonna be able to accomplish my dreams that I had in my mind for you know, for the future. So all of this to say that, you know, I move here not with the same mentality that many people do, but with like a success mentality.
When you were picking up the apples, like what exactly, how exactly does that look like, and how much are you getting paid picking up the apples? Like,
Yeah, it was definitely the minimum wage.
I know, like I have a friend, I have like a boxer friend, Mikey Garcia,
Right.
and they used to work the field with
Yeah.
strawberries. So
Yeah.
he told me that story, but I never heard about apples. Like what do you do with apples?
Yeah, so basically the field work, you have to do it in summer. It's like 110 degrees outside, and you get there like at 5 in the morning. So you try to beat the sun, and the heat, and then you get to work, man, until like 1 or 2 p.m. You get paid the minimum wage, but usually it's based on loads. So it's kind of like it's not just like the money that you make per hour, but it's also based on like performance.
Yeah.
But I did the work because I was definitely looking to save money to buy my car. That was my actual dream.
What car do you want to buy?
Yeah, I bought a Toyota Celica 2000. No, it wasn't 2001. That was my second car. It was 94. 94 Toyota Celica. That was my first car. And it was interesting that my first
You bought that car picking apples?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. Like it was a whole summer work, and I'd never been dependent. I'd never been like, hey, dad, buy me this, buy me that. Even when I was like 12, 13, 14. I remember I was in Colombia, and one day I go to my dad and I said, hey, I just signed up for an English class. He's like, what do you mean? He's like, yeah, I just paid the first month, because I've always had the saving mentality.
Yeah.
Always. So I went.
Even now?
Even now. I'm still, you know,
You're
I
a
still.
big spender.
No, I do, but I save before I spend. So in other words, I like to save so I can quote unquote spend more, like invest.
Yeah.
I buy my toys and I buy everything with the mentality of like, this has to be an investment. This has to be something that when I buy, it gives me a return somehow.
Okay. So back then you were like that's where you started thinking that way.
Yes. Since I was a kid, I've always, you know, my parents, they've always been proud of like the way that I think, as far as like, since I was a kid, they always tell me like I come up with ideas that are kind of like different for like people at that age. and it's just been within me. It's just been within me. Like I said, I was like 12 years old, and I signed up for an English class. It was an entire course, and I paid for the first month. That's as much as I could pay. And I go to my dad and I said, "Hey, Dad, I just paid for the first month. There's 9 months left. You're gonna have to pay for that."
Yeah.
But it was kind of like it was like I'm taking action and then I'll figure it out, and that's a lot of business. For instance, I'm pretty sure with your businesses, it's like we do something right now and then we figure out later, right? Like we commit to, hey, I'm gonna be doing, for instance, the driven event. You're gonna be doing the driven event, and it's gonna be the biggest and the best and the most impactful event, and then we figure out on the way.
Why do you think you're like that, and why do you think most people are scared of commitment, and then they blame everything on other things?
Well, because it's easy. It's easy to blame on people, blame it on others, blame it on the weather, blame it on COVID.
Because instead of figuring it out, they quit. And they're like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go over here and it's going to be different. But it's not going to change if they don't change. But like I think people like us,
right?
Like when you commit, if your business is not working out, maybe you're going out of business. You're not going to be like, hey, I'm going to quit or I'm going to go to another business. You're going to make sure that it works. Like you're going to figure it out. But those people always figure it out. Like you just figure, you know what I mean, right?
100%.
And some people are like, they're just, they can't do it. But it's only those very few that have that. Like what is, because you came from Colombia.
Right.
You didn't even speak English. And now, and then you were in New York. Then now you're in, is it Miami?
Yeah, I'm in Orlando right now.
Orlando. Yeah. And then you built a multi-million-dollar business. So,
yes.
Like, why do you think, where does that come from? Picking up apples? Were you coming from Colombia?
Right.
Do you feel you have a chip on your shoulder or?
Yeah, so.
Because I'll tell you one more thing. You also told me.
Yeah.
You also told me, man, you know what? It's because I haven't. You mentioned your accent a few times. And you're like, oh, it's because of my accent. And I used to be the same way. That's why I'm telling you. Because I used to be like, hey, my accent, I'm not good enough. People are going to make fun of me. And then people would tell me, like, what accent? Like, what accent?
Right.
And I'm like, and they're like, well, you do have an accent, but it's like there's people that have an accent where you're like, what the fuck are you saying?
Right.
Like, I can't even understand. Right. But, like, when you have an accent, like, slight or whatever, like, I don't think you have an accent. Like, you sound more like Colombian. You know, like you don't, it doesn't, it's not like an accent where you can't understand.
Right.
I think people with accents are the people that make the most money. Like the richest guy in the world has an accent.
That's true.
And he stutters too. Elon Musk.
That's true.
So like one thing that I want to just tell you right now is just cut that. Like never ever bring the accent because you don't have an accent. You're powerful as you are.
Right.
You're making more money than a bunch of stupid idiots that were born here or that knew English from year one, and they're not doing anything with their lives.
Right, and that's what I was gonna say. That was the old Anderson, to be honest. Like I used to have that mentality. That's kind of like what I told you the other day. Like that used to be me saying, I want to conquer this. I want to get to this level. I have a pretty big goal for my life, which is building a skyscraper. And not only building it, but owning it. Like that's pretty much like one of my goals. And I always say it, like whenever I'm doing like something, I say my goal in life is I want to build a skyscraper. And I'm saying that to say that the accent used to be kind of like a reason for me to say, oh, shoot, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But, the accent is kind of preventing me from going to that next level. Until one day I was talking to a mentor of mine as well. And he was telling me, and then you as well, telling me like the accent is something that you shouldn't even be worried about. And it's true, because here's the thing. I might have an accent, but there's people, like you said, there's people that don't even have an accent. They were born here, and they're not driven.
Yeah.
So we are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the accent. Like you said, Elon Musk, and there's other people. And then the other question that you ask about like what keeps me going, like there is just something within us that are going to be successful. That is just like, it doesn't matter the issue, doesn't matter the obstacle. We're always we're always moving forwards. Just imagine Thomas Edison. Or imagine Elon Musk. Yeah. The day before, like he was within days for going bankrupt. Mm-hmm. And now look at his success story. So now everybody's like, oh, Elon Musk. But at that point.
And I think you have to put yourself in a situation where you're almost going to go bankrupt in order to make big wins, in order for growth.
Yep.
But most people never, like if you want to be a Goliath and be huge.
Right.
then you got to be able to put yourself. You have to have the balls to put yourself in those situations, and most
Yep.
people don't. That's why they stay always small.
Right.
And they're always like just small, tiny, and miserable.
Yep.
Now, when you created your Anderson Develops, like your brand, did that have a part of you making more money, or did you change it once you started making money?
No. So I've been developing land for like the past 5 to 6 years. I've been in real estate like 7.5 years now. But I started developing land.
How old are you?
I'm 29. So I started developing land about 5 years ago, and it was just kind of like, I was always thinking on like when people think about land development, I want them to think about me. So when they're thinking like, oh, I just found this 10-acre parcel that I know the seller wants to sell, who should I contact? Who develops? Oh, Anderson Develops. That's the reason why we named it, or I decided to name it Anderson Develops. So it's pretty much my brand. And the other beautiful thing about the Anderson Develops name is that it's available everywhere on the social media. When I was looking at it, it was 100% available. So you can find me as Anderson Develops on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Facebook, everywhere. TikTok, every single where Anderson Develops is available, which that doesn't really happen, that often with names. The handle are usually taken in multiple places, but the Anderson Develops was available, so I'm like, I'm just gonna take it.
Yeah.
So I took it, and now we're Anderson Develops everywhere.
Yeah. Anderson's your first name, right?
Anderson's my first name.
So when you started your first company, which one? Well, talk about your 5 companies. So you have 5 companies.
Yes. So
and which one makes the most money, or just explain how that works.
Right. So land development is definitely the real estate company that I own. And by the way, 4 of the 5 companies are real estate companies. So one is just a holding company for Airbnbs that we own. The other one is a company that does flips. The other one is, every single company is like within real estate. But the one that definitely makes the most money is the land development company, which is the one that we use for all the land deals that we do. And we specialize on land entitlement, which is land preparation for builders. That's what we do. And that's the one that makes the most money. And then the other company is a mentoring company that's, to help people make money as well.
And which one's the one that is the income spread out, or is there one that makes the most?
No. So definitely the land development company is pretty much my main company, and the
is
one
that like what, like 80% or more?
No,
or
I will say that one is, that one is about 75% from the rest of the company.
So you're a developer. Is that what you call yourself?
Yes.
You're a developer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a land developer, and what I do is basically I develop land for builders. So I get it ready. Basically, the whole process goes like this. When you find a piece of land, it's just raw land. It's just like nothing. If anything, there might be cattle, there might be horses or trees. It might just be empty. And then what we do is that we start the process with the city on getting it approved for houses. So imagine like 20 acres of land that doesn't have anything other than
Do you do
trees.
any like front beach land?
We do pretty much any land, as long as it doesn't even have to be on the city limits, by the way. We also do annexations.
So let's just use me as an example. Let's say I go to Miami and I'm like, you know what? I want to get like I broke up with Syl. I want to make like a bachelor pad in Miami.
Okay.
So I tell you, hey, Anderson, you know what? We just sold the company for X amount of
millions of billions of dollars.
Let's just say X amount of hundreds of millions.
Okay.
And I was 80% owner. I got my 80% payout. I gave half to Syl, and I got my half. And
right.
I'm just gonna go over there, and I want a bachelor pad. My daughters are like, they love me, and they're cool, and they could come by whenever they want. I'll have them a little bit, but I'm gonna build a bachelor pad. And I want a front beach house, like right there next to Grant Cardone's house. Right. So I want to get a nice parcel there, and I want to build a house bigger than Grant's. Right. And I want to make sure that he sees my house; it's bigger than his.
100%.
And I have the millions. Right. So would that make more sense versus buying the house that's already there? What's the pros and cons, and how much do I have to give you up front to start the whole project?
Right. So let me kind of explain with my land development model. We do more like subdivisions that are like tens of hundreds of homes. Like we do more like subdivisions that are like 200 homes or 100 homes or 50 homes. However, that you're saying, instead of building that house, you should build a building, the skyscraper that I'm talking about. Yeah. Next to.
Well, how much would it cost for that?
Well, for a building?
Yeah.
Oh, I know that would be pretty expensive, and that also depends on the amount.
More like billions, right?
Well, not necessarily billions, but you can definitely be on the hundreds of millions. However, with leverage, just like anything, like you can leverage, to build a skyscraper. You can.
Let's just say I have 100 million. Can I build a skyscraper?
Yeah, if I'm right with the skyscrapers, you're about 40 to 50% LTV. So you can definitely, or you can just get some GPs and LPs and just do it as a as a partnership.
What about a small building, a small
Sure.
like instead of a skyscraper, like a mini skyscraper?
Yeah, definitely. Although if you want to have it next to Grand Cardone, that would be nice to have a.
What's a GP and an LP?
Oh yeah, a GP is a general partner. LP is a limited partner. So when you're doing like real estate, you definitely want to have like GPs and LPs if you're doing like a massive, amount of either units, multifamily, land development, new construction, whatever. If it is like in the millions of dollars and you want to like pretty much work with someone, you can do general partners or limited partners.
So the land. So what you focus a lot on skyscrapers or buildings like that?
No. The skyscraper is my
Your
ultimate
dream,
goal.
yeah.
It's kind of like it's on my vision board. Like if I keep doing what I'm doing, I know that one day I'm gonna be able to build that skyscraper.
And like if I want to build that beach house, that's not something that you do?
No, but I can definitely help you with that.
What is different about that?
So it's different because the land development process and the business model that we have is finding like 5, 10, 20, 100 acres of land, either next to the city limits or within the city limits.
You get all that land ready to build a bunch of houses.
A whole bunch of houses. And the beauty about my model is that I don't necessarily build. So I don't even move a shovel. Like I don't have to even be in the land.
You just get it ready and you get paid.
Yes, I get it ready for the builder. Because here's the thing. Builders are in the business of building. They're not in the business. Like they have stuff. They have equipment. They have so many things that they have to, as a holding cost, that they're not in the business. Most of them, by the way. There's some builders that they do the land entitlement themselves as well. But they're not in the business of waiting for it to be entitled with the city and getting back and forth with, city permits and engineers and all of that stuff. We have everything in-house. So we do all the process of getting it entitled and getting it ready, and then we sell it to the builder for a super good upside.
So let's say instead of buying a house right there in front of the beach next to Grant's, like I tell you, hey, you know what? I got, because a house right there, I'm assuming it's around 20 million-ish, more or less, maybe 30.
Right.
Right? Is that right?
Yeah. Sounds right.
So let's just say I have 25 million bucks.
Right.
So with those 25 million bucks, is that enough to get some land ready to build houses?
You'll be surprised, but I have done land deals with like $50,000.
Really?
Yeah. So the beauty about the model is that I have to put let's just say hypothetically that I I put under contract a 50 acres in the city of Orlando, let's just say. So the 50 acres, it's going to be pretty much under contract for a 1% earnest money. So I only put in $50,000 for earnest money, right? So with that, basically what I'm doing is I'm putting $50,000 as an earnest money, and then I'm doing all the diligence. Like I'm analyzing with the city, calling the city, and then I have to pay my engineers, of course, but that's part of the process. And then as I'm getting everything ready, I'm actually reviewing if the parcel makes sense or not for the builder, for the end buyer. Once I get all the process entitled, so I make sure that I get like at least 6 months for inspections on the property, because selling land is different than selling houses. When you're selling houses, I can close in 7 days. I can close in 4 days. But when I'm selling land, the seller knows that there has to be a review that I have to do with the city. So they're usually more open to 6 months to potentially a year, which we have done in the past. We've done a year inspection. And then throughout the year, what we do is that we entitle it. We get it ready. And then once it is ready, we work with builders. And then at that point, we sell. That's the exit that we have. And we have done double closings, which, by the way, if people don't know what's a double closing, is basically you don't have to come up with the money. If I'm buying a parcel that's $5 million, I don't have to come up with the $5 million. The builder comes with the $5 million, and then we do a double closing. Or we have also done assignments of contracts. So I don't have to come up with $5 million if I'm buying a $5 million property. Matter of fact, right now we have a $3 million property that we have only spent about $45,000, and we already have a few builders because we have a list of builders that we know are looking for that product.
So on that one, how long did it take you to get it ready for?
No, so we currently just put under contract. So we're actually another strategy.
You just started right now?
Yeah, another.
So how long would it take you to get it ready for the builder?
Probably 6 to 7 months. So another thing that we do within our strategy is that from the day we put under contract, we start reaching out to builders. And we have worked with builders so much that we don't even have them sign an NDA at that point. Like, we have a trust relationship. So I just send them, hey, there's this parcel that we just got. It's 21 acres. Will you be interested? And at that point, they say, hey, yeah, this sounds like the product that we want to do in 6 to 7 months. Because like I said, they're in the business of building. So they're finishing another project, and they're about to be, left with no projects. And they have, like I said, a staff. They have all the employees, all the people. They have equipment. They have all the stuff that builders do, like big builders. And so at that point, they're like, hey, I want to actually get ready for my next deal. So what do you have right now? So at that point, I bring them the deals. And we're always netting the 6 figures on every transaction we do. So every transaction we do, we actually average about $450,000 per deal.
So every deal you make,
every deal,
$450K more.
Yes.
And it takes you around 6-7 months.
Around 6 to 7 months. And sometimes it can be 12 months. Like, that's a good average.
So why don't you just 10 times the efforts and then go from like multi-millions to like tens of millions?
Right. So at that point, it's like, if I'll give you an example. We're working with I don't know if I can say names, but we're working with
just make up a name. just say that this person I can say.
Okay. It's a company. It's one of the biggest national builders. One of the biggest.
Yeah, you can tell me after.
Yeah, I will definitely tell you after. But this is one of the biggest national builders, and we're working on a parcel right now. And because they're corporate, they pretty much have to run everything through their corporate structure. So any changes to the contract has to go to the manager, and the manager to the acquisition manager to the location manager.
It's gonna take longer, right?
It takes so much time. So that right there is the reason why we're kind of like between 5 acres to 50 acres. We could have done 300 acres and only work with national builders. But at that point, it just takes so much longer that we prefer to be within like 5 to 50 acres. And we've done pretty well with that. The thing that we're working on right now is on systems. So we can do it. We're currently working in 3 states. So we want to do it in pretty much the 50 states of the United States.
Which states are working right now?
We're working in Washington State because that's where I used to live. We're working in Florida, and we're analyzing some parcels and land deals in Texas.
Yeah.
So
and one thing that I go by, like one of my business principles, is never let one client be a big portion of your income.
Yes.
Because if that client leaves or they cancel or whatever,
Right.
then you just lost a big percentage.
Yeah, 100%. That's the reason why we have a pool of buyers that all of them are builders. And the other thing is the builders usually have the means. Like they can close. We have had a deal that closed in 20 days. So it's you're dealing with people that do have money, like people that have the money.
So let's say on the deal that you're gonna make 450K, how much do the builders come in with to buy it?
So I'll give you an example of the last one we just closed. So what we did is we put it under contract for $800,000. We did all the entitlements with the city. So we basically took everything to the city. This was like a 7, almost 8 month play. So we did all the rezoning, which is some of the things that we usually have to do. We did not an annexation on that one, but usually we do annexations. We check capacities of the water, the sewer. We check everything that we have to check. Elevations as well, to make sure that the builder is getting a parcel that they can build. So we rezoned from an R1 to an R4, meaning like we went from building only 4 houses per acre to now building 20 houses per acre on a 5-acre parcel. So all of that we did brought the value from $800,000 that we bought it for, or that we put under contract for, to 1.2. So that one was a $400,000 payday, just for doing a rezone and doing that play for like 7 months. And then I have a partner, so we usually, we basically break the profits into, equivalent amounts.
So you bought the land for $850,000, then you sold it for 1.2.
The beauty about it is that we technically didn't even buy the land. Like we put it under contract, and then we only spend.
It's kind of like a wholesaling.
Yeah. It was. So a lot of people say, "Oh, Anderson, what you do?"
You could keep it like that for 6-7 months.
Yeah, because you have it under you control the property.
So it's like a 7-month escrow for sale.
Exactly. Yeah, you control the property. Nobody else, like, that's the reason why we spend money on feasibility, because we control the property. We don't necessarily own it. I don't want to own it. I want to control it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I see why most money comes from there. So is there? I mean, we could talk about some ideas later, but maybe I can help you maybe we could do like Anderson develops in California, and we can start making some money together.
Let's go. Yeah. The play, like I said, the land development structure of it, it's like a model that you can, once you know about land development, once you know what you're looking at when you see a parcel. Like
Yeah.
the other day, I have some mentees that they're learning about land development. And the other day, one of my mentees, shout out to Tatiana, she was reaching out to me and she said, hey, I have this parcel. And within literally within 4 seconds, just by opening the Google Maps, I was already able to tell if it was or not a good parcel.
Yeah.
So it just comes to a point where like you've done so much land deals that you understand once you see the parcel. But of course, like I have to go deeper because I might be looking at something that is telling me this is not a good parcel. But then as I start going deeper and deeper, I start analyzing, oh, wait, this might be actually a good parcel.
Plus,
So-
California is probably a little bit more complicated, right?
Yeah, California. So the thing, I have a friend that he's a developer here in California, and he was telling me that California usually he mentioned that he's got a parcel that he's had for entitlement. That's a commercial deal, totally different stuff for like 7 years.
Damn.
So it's not a land deal; it's a commercial proposal that he's submitting to the city. But imagine 7 years is a big thing.
Yeah. No,
So
100%.
So
So this company, what is your goal for it? Do you plan on you want to build it national and sell it, or do you want to build it national and keep it?
yeah. So all of the
And-
companies
and,
that
and let me give you an example.
sure.
I have friends that have sold billion-dollar companies, and I have friends that have billion-dollar companies, and they want to keep it.
Yeah, so that's a great question, by the way. I'm always thinking on building companies to sell. The only company that I want to hold is my mentorship company. Because, of course, it's like one-on-one with me. Like, I teach people how to develop land and this and that. But every other company, the 5-Star Realty, my Infco Group company, my Anderson Develops LLC, that one is more of a brand. So that one wouldn't really be like one that I want to sell either. But all of the other companies that I have are usually intended to like build a system and eventually sell them.
Yeah.
So land development is one of those things
How
that
much you want
once
to sell that one for when you go national?
I have in mind $1 billion, but that's a sexy number.
Is there other companies similar that have sold for that?
Land entitlement, I'm not sure. So it will be kind of like hard to find the value and kind of like compare it and say, yeah, this company is worth that.
I would
What-
find like 3 competitors, like one smaller than you, one at your level, and then one that's like the Goliath.
Right,
And then see and then obviously focus on the Goliath,
right.
but then just copy what they're doing.
Gotcha.
Because that way, and then also the like most recent sales, like
Right,
who's sold for how much.
right.
That would be good because then it gives you like now you know, okay, I gotta get it to here to sell it for this.
Yeah. And comparing like the land development system might be a little hard because there's not many companies doing that, but there is companies that do something similar. They also go one additional step, which is actually building the roads, kind of like getting everything prepared so the builder only comes and builds the houses. We do just the land prep, which
Yeah.
is kind of like we're leaving definitely meat on the bones, so the builder makes a ton of money, but we're also making money,
Yeah.
but we're making it faster. So, and back to the point about the $1 billion, I mean, that's a sexy number, and that's a number that everybody wishes to have. But I have kind of done calculations, and if we go based on the beta, we can definitely get to potentially that point with certain amount of deals. But it has to be consistent, and it has to be on 50 states.
Yeah.
So
What about international building? Can you do that?
I think at that point with the systems and the cities and all the code regulations and stuff, I think at this point we're not even thinking that far, which might be something that I should start thinking about Colombia and Mexico. There's definitely
You could probably develop over there like with nothing.
yeah, it's crazy, but I have family that they are builders in Colombia, like skyscraper builders in Colombia. So and by the way, that was my motivation since I was a kid. I've been motivated about like real estate because of my uncle.
Yeah.
He's a big dude in Colombia, like building skyscrapers and multiple high towers and stuff like that. So to me, that was like, I remember being a kid and telling my dad, which by the way, shout out to my dad. He means a lot to me. And I'm sure to you as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Our parents is pretty much the reason why we're here, but and also to my mom, by the way. But I always tell my dad like I want to get to, and I was a kid, I'm telling you, like I was 6, 7, 8.
Is your dad in Colombia?
No, he's here.
Oh, he's here?
Yeah, he's in the U.S. And I will tell my dad like I want to be able to build one of these, and he'll look at me and like he's like, yeah, you will one day.
Yeah.
So
So in the Airbnb business,
Right.
like how is that doing? Is it making good money? Is it do you what do you Airbnb? Is it
Yeah.
houses?
So we have multiple Airbnbs right now. We kind of like transition to a Airbnb model to where now we have like multiple houses, just more income, and is more of a, we have a property manager as well. She handles everything, so it's pretty much passive 100%. That is a business that my wife handles 100%. So I know it makes a lot of money, but I'm not too, I don't have to be too involved in the business. It's a good business. I will say to all of the people interested in getting into Airbnb right now will probably not be the time. There's already kind of like, it's starting to be a little bit saturated. The market.
Why do you say that?
Yeah, because right now with the housing market right now, a lot of people have decided to go into Airbnb to make it make sense. Like if I buy a house right now, you guys are lenders, so you will definitely understand what I'm saying. But if I'm buying a house right now, my mortgage payment will be higher than what it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Right. So for me to make sense of that house, if it is an investment property, one of my options will be, what if I make it an Airbnb? So a lot of people are thinking with that mentality, and they're turning that into an Airbnb play, and now it's getting the market kind of like saturated. And once it is saturated, it's gonna be like, you're gonna have to go back to long-term tenancy. And by the way, there is a lot of new regulations that cities are starting to come up with. So there is, by the way, we bought a house, we staged the house, we did everything, and then the city came and said, hey, you guys have to shut the business, the Airbnb, because it wasn't allowed in the city. So it's kind of like, new regulations are kind of affecting the Airbnb model right now.
So for example, one of your houses that you have,
Right.
what are the numbers, like roughly, like what's a mortgage payment and how much
Right.
do you collect
So-
Airbnb, just to get an idea for people that are wondering.
Yeah, so I have a house. It's 5 units. It's a house, but it's a beautiful property. But it's got a cabin, it's got a house, it's got a tiny home, it's got a studio, and it's got a something that's called a yurt. It's kind of like this is, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but a yurt is pretty like unique. Like they don't build it, and it's kind of like very, very unique. Anyways. So with that, we have projections, because we're kind of like finalizing it right now. We have projections of that one making closer to $17,000 a month. Our monthly payment on that one is $6,000. So when we bought it, like a lot of people will say, "Oh my gosh, $6,000 in a mortgage," because it was we bought it for $730,000. So it's kind of like, ooh, that's a high number, like $6,000 a month. Yeah, but it's making us $17,000. So. I wouldn't complain. And then from there, we have some expenses.
So
like
your
cleaning.
net's 11,000.
Yeah, we're a little less than that, a little less than the 11,000, because we still have to pay the cleaning and the property management. But it's definitely netting monthly like closer to probably $8,000.
And where is it at? What city?
That one is in Kissimmee, Florida.
Is that around Orlando?
That one is close to Disney. Which, by the way, if you guys want to ever go to Disney, let me know.
Also, that's a lot of people that go to Disney World.
Yeah.
They Airbnb right there.
Yeah, and that one is on 3 acres, so it's a beautiful nature property. You don't see those type of properties near Orlando anymore.
So wouldn't you want to get 100 more of those?
Yes, but not right now. I would say, because of what I was saying, the market right now is kind of like
So you
saturated.
can't
with
find
Airbnb.
deals like that right now.
No, that was a pretty unique deal. That was a pretty unique deal, Albert, because that one, it was a house. It needed so much work. I saw the house. I showed the house to my wife, and she was like, "Oh, that's gonna need a lot of work." I'm like, "Yeah, but we've done this for quite a while." So she was like, "I think we can do it," and then we just went for it. We spent a lot of money remodeling it and putting it ready, and all the staging and everything that we have to do. And now it's a property that's hitting the market here soon.
So
for
when
the
do you
Airbnb.
think you'll start buying more Airbnb houses? When are you gonna wait for?
So I'm pretty much waiting to see what's really going to happen with the new regulations that the city are gonna put to Airbnbs.
Oh, okay.
In New York, they're pretty much, Airbnbs are not allowed in New York anymore. So
What if if the country just says we're gonna shut down Airbnb for good?
so people know there's alternatives that you can do. There's other apps that you can use that are not short-term rentals. You can rent by the room, and that's one of the plays that I was wanting to do if they completely shut the Airbnb industry, which I think is not gonna happen either. But they're gonna put definitely more regulations. Like you can only Airbnb the house where you live, pretty much. That's one of the regulations that I see happening sometime soon. other regulations, like you can only have one Airbnb if it is not your primary home, like some of those things. But right now, I'm just kind of waiting to see what happens. I'm not investing too much in Airbnbs. I'm just focusing on the land development, because the other thing about land development, sorry to interrupt, but the other thing about land development is that builders are not seeing the market now. Builders are seeing the market in 2 to 3 years. So builders right now, despite everybody and what they're saying, like, oh, the interests are so high, builders right now are buying left and right. Like most of the builders that I know, they're buying because they know what's going to happen in the next 2 to 3 years. And they need to have houses in the next 2 to 3 years that are in the market. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So they're actually starting the process, because building all of these 100, 200, 300 homes is going to take them 2, 3, 4 years to get fully ready.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing right now, and that's the reason why we're, selling a lot of land development deals. That's the reason why I'm focusing more on land.
Yeah. And is there any Airbnb commercial? Like let's say you have a commercial space and you want to Airbnb your commercial space?
Let me tell you something interesting. In the city of what was this one? St. Petersburg, I think it was. So we look at this commercial. We didn't do the deal at the end of the day because some inspection that we found. But the city is allowing, it's a commercial space, and the city is allowing that the way it is right now to convert into Airbnb. So they need more hotels, they need more hospitalities and more like places for people to stay in that area. And if you Google St. Petersburg, that's close to the water. It's like next to the beach in Tampa. So it's basically
that's where I went to visit my friend John Maxwell.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So basically all of that area, Albert, is needing like Airbnbs, hotels, and stuff like that. So the city is allowing right now people who own commercial buildings to turn it into Airbnbs. So we made an offer on a property, and it ended up not happening. But just kind of like to answer your question, yeah, that's a great question, by the way.
Yeah, because I'm thinking they should create like, how, did you know that WeWork went bankrupt?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
why wouldn't WeWork do a Airbnb WeWork?
That would be a good model. That would be a good model. And WeWork, by the way, I don't know if people know, but WeWork, the only city that's not going as bad as the rest is Miami. Miami is one of those areas that there is so many Hispanics and people, entrepreneurs and people that need a space for work that is actually pretty solid in Miami. Mm-hmm. Everywhere else is just getting, smashed, is getting affected.
Yeah.
And it's going bankrupt.
Yeah. So a couple more things here.
Yeah.
I know that you have a degree, right?
Yes.
So you got a bachelor's degree in project management?
Yes.
So is that why you became so successful in millions?
No. It has nothing to do with my degree. Honestly, if I can go back in time, I would definitely say it's not needed. A degree, it helped me with my English. It helped me with like getting to know some people.
But your degree in property management, because you kind of do land develops and
right.
You develop land and all, and so you're kind of like in that kind of space. So
yeah.
So you don't. So how much of that came from your degree?
I would say I'm thankful that I did it. It helped me open my mind to what's out there.
Yeah.
But to the people watching, you don't need a degree in today's economy and today's world. Yeah. You all you need to do is just have the passion and know what you're doing and what you want in life. Like you have to have a crystal clear goal of like, I'm heading this way and that's the way that I'm going.
Why did you decide to get your degree?
So back then I didn't know what I know today. I was still learning the language. Like if you go back in time, probably 6 years ago, I wouldn't speak English as fluent as I speak it today. So to me, it was like, it was needed. And then my whole family was like pushing and trying to like trusting that I was going to be the first one in the family to get a degree. I'm the first one in the family to get an AA degree. I'm the first one in the family to get a bachelor's degree. I'm the first one in the family to become a multimillionaire. I'm the first one in the family to own a Lamborghini. I'm the first one in the family to like all the stuff that I'm doing right now. And I'm saying it humbly. Like I'm not saying it to show off. I'm saying it to say that it's definitely like they seen in me like this.
You're a humble Lamborghini owner.
If you want to call it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely like one of those things that they've put their trust in, and they know that I'm a hard worker.
Yeah.
I always perform like 120%. When I commit to something, Albert, I go for it.
And Orlando's not that crazy like Miami. Like when you drive Lamborghinis, that girls are like throwing their panties, right?
No, if that was the case, my wife would have not let me buy a Lamborghini.
I think that's why she chose Orlando.
Yeah, definitely.
'Cause
She
that's
was
more
like, Miami,
world,
no.
Disney World and all that. So.
I drove the Lamborghini the other day to Miami with her, and yeah, she was definitely noticing that.
Yeah,
a lot of
no,
people
that
like,
happens.
especially women. But I'm a person of one woman, so
Yeah.
I'm pretty loyal when it comes to
We
to
got
that.
we have that in common.
Let's go.
Yeah, we're kind of wearing the same watch. too.
This one is a Rolex Submariner. So I noticed yours. I like yours as well.
Yeah,
I'm adding more to my collection, so I think I want an AP next.
that's a nice one.
Yeah,
Albert Preciado.
I love it.
Yeah, but going back, so
Yeah.
I know you before we get into because I want you to talk about I know you're having a big event. I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, you also mentor people. You talk about mentorships. So how much is your mentorship?
Yeah.
For people that are watching this that want to call you up and sign up, like how
Right.
much is your mentorship? How long? How does it work?
By the way, thank you for the space, because I know a lot of people like will talk about the podcast, and it's your podcast, so a lot of people will talk about like one side of the equation, but they wouldn't really give the opportunity to the other person.
I'm just good.
No, man, I appreciate it. But yeah, we have a mentorship. We have two packages. One that's the entry level, so it gets you to all of our social media and constant, like we have Facebook groups where we drop a lot of value. We usually do like videos every day about land development, and we call it, so it's the Avansa movement, because it's really a movement. It's more than a mentorship. It's a movement. We try to help people with 5 things, which is we help them with the faith, we help them with the family, with love, we help them with the fitness life, so the lifestyle, we help them with the finances, and we help them set free, so freedom. So it's 5 core values or 5 things that we touch base on. So it's not just
Just
finances.
you or you and your wife?
No, it's me and a partner of mine.
Okay.
He's a doctor. I'm sure he's watching this right now. So he goes over the mindset or freedom side of it, and he goes over the fitness.
Mm-hmm.
And then the finances, the family, the faith, I usually go over it, or he goes over it as well. But basically, we help people. We have an entry level that's $2,000 a year. And then we have a one-on-one that's more of a higher level. We call it the elite level.
Yeah.
We go deep into land development, and we actually we help them become land developers, land entitlers.
Mm.
So they do the same thing that I do, and that one is $20,000 a year. We have a few members already for the elite member.
So with 20 grand, you could help Maria become a land developer?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, more than a land developer, she can be the owner and the builder as well. Oh, there you go. And that's my kid, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if people are saying that, but that's my. He was 1 year old at that point.
No, you got a beautiful family. So you have one?
Yeah, just one.
You and you're married or not married yet?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
So
5
you're
years
married,
ago.
So you have the perfect life. Multi-millionaire, Lamborghini, family,
I was only missing the fitness side of it.
and you're not even 30 yet.
No, I'm still in my 20s. I was missing the fitness side of it, and I just the other day I weighed myself, and I've already lost 30 pounds.
So what's your next goal you have a 6-pack right now?
No, I'm getting it right
You're
now.
gonna get a 6-pack?
Yeah.
By when?
I saw you working out earlier, and I was gonna knock on the door and be like, "Hey, let me join," because I haven't done my today exercise. I was at the airport 3 a.m, which,
Yeah.
by the way, I have a routine that I wake up at 3 a.m. every day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they told you this, but it's a good thing. I heard David Goggins said you need to wake up. Like, it's not that you need to wake up at 3 a.m, but when you wake up early, it's game changer, and it's true. When I'm going to the gym, I get to the gym at 5. I wake up at 3. I do all my morning routine, and then I get to the gym at 5. When you're driving to the gym, and you see all of the lights off the houses,
Mhm.
everybody's sleeping, your mindset goes to another level. You're like, everybody's sleeping, and I'm up here already going to the gym. And then when you're on the way back to your house,
Yeah.
and you're still driving, and people are still sleeping, it's a game changer.
What time do you go to sleep for that?
Oh, I usually go 9.
9.
Yeah, 9. I'm also not a person that needs 8 hours of sleep. I talked to my doctor. He said, my doctor and mentor, he said, it's not true that you need to sleep 8 hours.
Yeah.
That's just how they brainwash us.
What if you sleep at 12 and wake up at 6?
If you perform well between 9 and
what
12,
if you sleep at 11 and wake up at 5?
I guess it just go. I personally I like to just be up at 3 because also with the and you also have a kids.
Yeah.
But when you have like kids that are between 1 and 5, when they're up, they're travel like they're
Yeah.
just
My kids are maniacs. My kids are up like till 1 o'clock if we let them.
So when so when you have like my kid, he's usually up like at 7 or 8. So
Yeah.
between 3 and 7, I have like peace of mind, and then nobody's texting me, nobody's sending me
I know.
emails. So you just have 100% focus on whatever it is that you're
Yeah.
doing, and that's usually the time that I am more focused on my next move.
What do you do though if you have if you have an event and you have to be speaking at 9 p.m.?
Yeah, I have done exceptions. Like
Yeah.
I still, there's like today, like I still woke up early, 3 in the morning, but I had to go to the airport. I usually go at 5 at the gym. I couldn't go to the gym, so.
But you woke up at 3 in the morning today?
Yeah.
In Florida.
In
Orlando.
Florida. Yeah.
So you woke up at 3 over there.
It was like a 12 here.
12 here.
Yeah.
Oh, you probably slept on the plane though, right?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not for the whole thing, because I still had some emails to send and stuff. But yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, there has to be exceptions. If someone tells you I'm always up at 3 and it's non-negotiable, like you try to make it a non-negotiable, but there's exceptions that you have to.
And we could talk about that. I could give you a lot of tips on that because
Sure.
I've changed my wake up time a lot.
Right.
There was times where I used to wake a day in advance.
Okay.
So I was waking super early, and one day I
Gotcha.
just woke up, and then I just woke up and I'm like, oh fuck, because every time I wake up I'm like, I do the same thing. I wake up, I complain,
Right.
and I go take a piss. That's the first thing I do when I wake up. Wake up, complain, and go take a piss, and then I kind of splash water in my face or whatever.
Right. It
So
helps.
I'm doing that, and I was brushing my teeth.
Right.
And then after a while, I'm like, okay, let me look at my phone. And I look at my phone, and it says 12:26 in the morning. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've been up for like 30, 40 minutes. And I'm like, oh, shit. So then I looked at because I was wearing a Fitbit
Okay.
that monitors when you wake up and all that.
Right.
So I woke up at 11:46 p.m. So I went to sleep the day, and I woke up the same day.
Oh my God.
And then I started
see.
my other day in advance.
Gotcha.
So that was just a weird, but it happened a few times.
Yeah.
But I changed it along the way because like now I have like your schedule is gonna change as a CEO.
Yeah.
Where you're gonna have to adapt, and sometimes you're gonna have to do a lot of things late at night, sometimes earlier. Because
Right.
I did the really early waking up, and I had to go to sleep like by 9ish. So I know exactly what you're saying.
Right, right. And there's also a book that I read, the 5 a.m. Club. That one is going to help you wake up early as well. That book, or, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People
Yeah.
as well. There's multiple books that it just tells you, like, when you change your habits and you start waking up early, you start already with a winning mentality. You don't go to challenges
Yeah.
and be like, oh, all afraid. Like you're ready.
And then when you have kids too, like you have your wife and you're waking, like she wants to have sex at night. That's the only time. And then you're waking up at 2 and she wakes up at 8.
Right.
Like then you're sleeping at 9 and then she's fully awake, and
Right.
like you don't want your wife to be doing weird things.
Yeah, the good thing is that my wife, we both follow like almost the same routine.
Yeah.
Even the baby, it's kind of weird, but he's now getting used to that time.
Yeah, no, my wife wakes up late. Yeah. But so one more thing before we jump into your event to close out. You went from 0 to multimillionaire in 5 years.
Yes.
Right? So is that what it takes, 5 years, or or with your mentorship, can somebody do it faster, like in 3 or 2 years?
Faster. Now,
So why did it take 5 years?
Because I didn't know what I know now. If I would have known what I know now, it would have been a year.
Yeah.
Because being a multimillionaire is just a matter of like, whether you're in a high ticket item or a low ticket item, you just have to do whatever you're doing X amount of times. So in my case, I'm on a high ticket item. Like I sell one land deal and it's already 6 figures.
Yeah.
So doing a few of those, having the systems to do a few of those can take you to a multimillionaire pretty quick. So you can definitely be from 0 to a multimillionaire within a year or 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It just depends. And if you're selling low ticket items, like if you're selling stickers for $1 and you're making a 50 cents profit, you just need to sell those multiple times to many, many, many vendors and many people that you will be selling it to.
But you could be a multimillionaire in like 1.5 years by following the land development that you show?
Sure. Sure. Of course, it depends on the person. Like, they have to put in the
Yeah, if
work.
they don't do the work and they just blame others instead of themselves,
Yeah.
it's not gonna work.
Yeah. Which I mean, you're a mentor as well, so you can probably tell me that has happened, or people do that. Like,
Yeah.
they will blame it on like, oh, this and that, but you have to do the work.
Yeah.
It takes commitment. It takes work. Just like waking up early. It takes like really wanting it. You have to really want to be
Yeah.
successful.
Yeah.
No, like, oh, I wish I'm successful, or I'm going to be successful, and just have that, butterflies and stuff. No, you have to really, really, really want to be successful.
Yeah.
So, and then
Cool.
before we go to the event, I
Yeah.
have something for you. Before we go there, and before we close the.
What time you wake up, Anthony?
4:45 or 4:30 or 5.
Why don't you wake up at 3 like him?
Good point. You need this or no?
No. Before we announce the event, Albert, I have this little gift for you. It's a meaningful representation
Oh, nice.
of what you're gonna have in the future, and it's gonna be as nice, if not nicer, than that one.
I
So
love it.
I wanted you to have it, and then it has driven underneath it.
Nice.
So I don't know, maybe we can put it here.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love it.
So you can have it in your office. That's
Might be our new centerpiece.
yeah. Let's put it this way so it looks the same as the one in the back.
Oh, so you knew that?
I didn't.
Oh,
I didn't, but
you were surprised when you saw this?
I was because I saw the plane,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, I already had the gift. I bought this after the driven, so
yeah.
I'm like, I'm gonna give it to Albert because I know he's gonna have one.
How do you know I like that one?
I don't know. I just know
Yeah.
you're gonna have one.
Yeah.
So it's a representation, of course. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a toy. It's actually something that is a
what
vision.
you visualize becomes a reality.
100%.
That's why like you have to cast visions when you say things to the world. Then you feel that you got to do it.
100%.
Yeah. Most people don't want to say what they're gonna do because they know they can't do it. They don't believe
Right.
in themselves.
And by the way, this is a gift that I don't give to many people. And in this one, I thought of you because I know you will have one.
Mm-hmm.
Is in the process right now, and seeing it every day is just a reminder. I'm one step closer.
Yeah.
So
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
G650.
That's definitely on the list.
I
It's
know.
on my dream board.
I know.
Yeah.
And now you have it. Like, you can.
Did I
touch
show you
it.
my dream board when I was drunk the other
No.
time? No.
No, I swear I didn't.
Did you know I wanted that plane, or
No.
or you just?
No, I swear.
Oh.
I swear. I don't know. I guess I kind of sense it.
Yeah.
Kind of sense it. I
No,
also want
that's the plane I want. Like it's on my dream
exactly
board.
the same one.
Yeah, exactly the same one.
Like, he showed it to me and I was like, oh, he's gonna love this. That's the exact one.
Yeah.
Well, and then I thought of putting the driven here in the back.
I have a picture with this is not the picture, but I have a picture with the plane with the G, with the driven on the tail.
Nice.
Yeah.
You're
No,
definitely
well-
gonna have it in the office, no?
Yeah,
On the
no, well,
desk.
thank you. Well, I'm gonna see it every day now, so it's gonna put more pressure on me. But but thank you, man. And
go.
and to close out,
Yeah.
where can people before we go into where can people follow you? The event, like when is the event? How much are the tickets? Who's gonna speak?
Yes.
What is it about? Can you talk about the event really quick?
Yes, I appreciate the time once again. So we have the event called Avansa Conference. It's going to be happening in Florida, in Orlando, Florida, next year, April 6th. It's going to be an event for entrepreneurs, business owners, people that want to go to the next level. The word Avansa in Spanish means like moving forwards, like
Yeah.
going to the next level. Like you have to avanzar, you have to keep going, right? So it's really an event that's going to be motivating people to do that, to do just that, like go to the next level. Let's all work, collaborate, whatever we need to do, but let's go to the next level. And then so far we have some speakers that have confirmed, and we're looking for additional speakers. So I definitely want to have Albert in there as well.
Maybe I could go to Disney World.
Oh yeah.
From
So
there.
the other thing is a tax deduction, like a tax deductible thing. So you guys can go to Florida for the event.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it.
Sure.
Do you know how much the tickets are or not yet?
Yeah, 100%. So we have tickets that start basically the VIP, which is the higher section, the closer to the stage. You get access behind stage. You get food and all the stuff is $9.97, and then the one next to that one, you still have, you're still pretty close, and you just don't get the access to behind stage, but you get even food. And then the VIP party, just like the VIP section, that one is $4.97. And then we have the last layer, which is 97. That one is general admission.
Got it. And is this your first event or second event?
No, this one is the second one. The first one was a total success. I was just thinking too small.
How many people came?
That one was 100 people, but we oversold the place. There was like 25 people that came that were not supposed to come because we oversold. Like we sold 100 tickets, and then people were still showing up. So we still opened the door to them. But right now, like you definitely want to get the tickets because this one, like people left that day. We have some testimonials that we're actually posting already on social media. By the way, you should follow me here, Anderson Develops. There you go. And we got some testimonials, and people were saying like, Anderson, the event, like the energy that was at the event was from another level. So they really liked the event. And on this one, we're already kind of like reaching out to like big names, and we also want to have Albert in there. So we can have that room full of energy, because that's the whole goal. It's not just like learning. It's about like leaving the place, like getting ready to avanzar, to go to the next level.
Yeah, no, I love it. And so this event, you're gonna have it in Orlando, right? And then do you have a website already? The tickets are
so
sale?
we are actually building the website right now, but they can definitely get the tickets on the Eventbrite. We already have everything set up so you can get the tickets.
So we'll put the link for that, and then we'll update it when you have the website on.
Sure.
And then where can people follow you if they want to get more information and touch base with you?
I'm pretty active on social media, especially on Instagram. So they can find me at Anderson Develops on social media on Instagram. Yep. You can see I'm a follower of Jesus, 20 million real estate transactions. That number needs to be updated now. It's more than that. A land developer and CEO, that's the company that I was telling you about, Infco Group. That's the land development. And then you can join my mentorship, the Avansa mentorship. And then you can get tickets right now because it's early bird right now. You can get them at 50% off. 50%.
Awesome. Well, follow my friend Anderson Develops right here. Proud for another Latino right here that's killing it.
Let's go, man.
Viva Colombia. Yeah, let's go.
Viva Mexico. My wife from Mexico, by the way. Thank you, guys. Shout out to my wife.
You're going to have a sexy kid.
Oh, yeah. He's already, he's got the best genes from Mexico and Colombia. Let's go.
There you go. See you guys.